Okay, everyone, if you can hear me, put a one in chat. Okay, I'm so sorry. Believe it or not, I still had to end up going live from my phone using StreamYards because my computer's being ignorant. Give me just a second. Okay. I'm assuming that this will just show up when I have a guest in the back the same way as it does on my computer. This is crazy. Oh, how is everybody doing? I'm going to be honest with you. This is like foreign to me looking at this from my phone. Okay, just a second, y'all. Okay, Whitney, can you hear me? Yeah. Well, I ended up having to do it from my phone instead of my computer because of all time things. When I restarted my computer, it decided it was going to update. So with my boony Wi-Fi, that could be all night. So I was like, nah, just go. I'll go live from my phone. For those of you that's still with us, thank you. Um, this is Whitney, and she is the founder and
Hello.
admin of Elena's group. We wanted to come live and let y'all know a few updates. Uh, one thing I want to say right off the bat, though, is this could be. I need a big trigger warning out there. This is very sensitive information. Um, I want to ask everybody to guard their own mental health. If
Is
you
it
find it
my
disturbing, I
internet?
completely do what? Can you hear me, Wit?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I can hear you. Um, but guard your own mental health because the topics and stuff that we're going to be talking about, it can be triggering. Um, also, just remember to be respectful to one another. Um, no doxing, no racist stuff, nothing like that. Um, let's just have a civil chat. Another thing that I want to address right out of the gate is it is being said that oh, I don't even know how to put this because it's been said that the group doesn't do nothing for Elena, the admins, and that quote we need to get off our butts or something like that. To that extent, I'm not quoting it verbatim, but that's about what it boiled down to, and it kind of seemed rude to me. I want to
It
say
was.
that
It pissed me
when I went to look for people that knew a little more about this case, I didn't see nobody else doing stuff. And
off.
I mean, this group has held a vigil for Elena. And mind you, this is strangers. Am I wrong, Whitney? Out of the care of their own heart, they do things for Elena. And I personally respect that. And I
Can you hear
appreciate
me now?
that. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I think it was my headphones. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. But
I can
I
better
mean,
now.
I
Sorry.
respect that and I appreciate what the group has done for Elena. I've said since day one that I didn't see a whole lot of family doing things for Elena, but this group
No.
is. Um, I know what I've done, and I can speak on what I've done. I've wrote letters to the governor. I have took and I've got a petition. If my mods will drop it in the chat, but got a petition right now going to help make changes in the way DCBS deals with child abuse cases. Um, and I think people need to understand that we do have lives.
Yep.
I would love to be able to go live and talk about Elena every day. I would, and keep her name out there every
Yeah.
day. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to neglect my own family, and I don't think that's right either. So we are doing the best that we can. I'm not an admin in this group, but I do respect the group. Um, we're doing the best that we can. I know I'm open to anything that people want to do on my channel for Elena. I'm open to hear suggestions. Um, Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of updates that gets done on this case. There's not a whole lot that you can come live and tell people every time. And I'm not somebody that's going to go live with absolutely nothing and report on things like that. I mean, to me, there's a fine line between reporting on something
And
and
that's
then
why
it
we're
just,
not.
yeah,
Well,
go
it's
ahead.
not because
Can you hear me, Whitney?
I can now. It keeps going in and out.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's my
Oh,
Wi-Fi. Probably mine.
it might, could be my Wi Fi. Could be my Wi Fi.
Probably mine.
Um,
Who knows?
was you wanting to say something, honey?
Job. So I don't know.
But I mean, at the end
But
of at the end of the day, we've all got families and lives
I
as
don't know
well.
if I crystal. Okay.
It could be my Wi-Fi, Whitney. To be honest with you, um, people that come to this channel are no strangers to my poor Wi-Fi. I need to start a petition against Windstream, but but
Down goes Windstream.
yeah, when you live in the
What
mountains, you've
is
got very few choices. Um, if you all haven't heard of this case, we have covered it before a couple of times on this channel. Elena was 17 months old. She was forced, I mean, her mom was forced to take her to ARH Hospital in Middlesboro, Kentucky. When I say she was forced, she didn't want to take her. And from there, she was uh, flown to Tennessee Children's Hospital, where she was pronounced brain dead and put on a ventilator. They took the ventilator off, and on the 31st, was it, Whitney? Or the 30th of July, she passed away and succumbed to her injuries.
I lost her again.
Elena,
Sorry.
can you can you hear me now?
I was her.
but but upon uh, upon the investigation and them Elena had been abused. She had been AR'd. She had been SA'd. Um, it was horrendous what happened to this child. Whitney, are you with me? Let me see here. Let me check. Okay, I don't know.
Well,
She may have dropped down or
yeah.
lost
Okay. Well, I
connection.
can't hear
Y'all
you,
just
but Pam said
there.
yeah, the
There
30th
you
is
are.
correct.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm gonna jump off a bridge. I can hear you now.
No.
That's a joke. Nobody call the suicide hotline, please. It was just a joke.
Hey, Duchess. Hey, Hottie. I'm Michelle. Hey, Pamela. July the 30th is correct. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. Me having to go live on my phone threw me for a loop. But fill us in, Whitney, on where this case is now. I know
Okay.
there's been a few things that it hasn't really changed in the case, but has changed with some players around the case, with the exception of what the lawyer asked about for within Elena's case. But I'll let you take over because you know far more about this case than I do.
So far where we're at, yes, the DNA is not back yet. It's frustrating. It's making all of us angry because yes, we all want the justice. We all want justice for Elena. But I mean, as bad as it is, we have to trust that law enforcement is doing everything they can. And again, they probably know more information, but they don't want to let it out because again, more information gets out, the more people will run with it. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Like I would love to have, more information so I could let Crystal know and let everyone else know, but it's the fact that nothing's being said. Nothing. Um there was one potential player, let's put it that way. That's what Crystal said. One
Yeah.
player that was arrested. He was arrested not on any alleged charges. Let me make that clear. Crystal, if you can have your I don't know, are they mods or admins? I don't know, but let make ask them if they can put like this, make it in bold or whatever, pin it that he was arrested, but it was not on Elena charges because I don't want people to go with he
Michelle,
was
would
arrested
you care to type that out and put it in the chat for us? That the arrest that was made was not
Elena related.
it isn't. Yeah, it's not related to Elena's case. He was arrested on child support
Yep.
and felony parole violation charges, right?
He was he was
Well, like an
arrested
EPA.
on yeah, he was arrested on child support and he had a fugitive warrant out of Tennessee. He went to Bell County for a night and they shipped him like within 48 hours to Claiborne County where he had a violation of parole and a VO or a FTA for a DUI. Imagine that. But anyway, while stuff happened in the jail, I'll just put it that way. I don't. Well, most people know he got whooped. I'm just gonna leave it at that. He got whooped pretty bad, and he's gonna live before anyone's like, "Oh, he died." No, he's gonna live. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't want my group or Crystal, for that matter, or her admin's team to be blamed for whatever happened to that player. I'm not even gonna use initials on that because, again, I just want to protect you all and my group and my team. But exactly what Michelle said. Tennessee people don't play, and I'm just going to shoot it straight. It should have happened a long time ago. What happened in that jail should have happened as soon as they found out he was a potential suspect. And I mean that full heartedly. Him and the other one that's out should have you know, been handled street
I'm
way.
surprised that I'm surprised it hasn't happened to cause when we think about the people that surrounds this case, the people that have been named, how
hmm
many are in jail on unrelated charges right now?
all of them but one. That one, which
All
is
of
the
them but one.
yes, but the one, okay, the one that was, had the things done to him at Claiborne. I don't know if he has been released from UT Medical because that's where he ultimately ended up. He ended up at UT. I don't know if he's been released yet, but I do know that when he gets released, he's not going back to the jail. They furloughed him out, which ultimately means time served, basically, unless they decide to send him back in a few months. But it happened twice. He was moved to Gym Pop. Word spread. Again, Claiborne County Jail is massive. I work there. My boyfriend worked there. I mean, it's a big jail. Word gets around. I mean, it's as simple as that, you know. And he was an APOD. Then they moved him to Melmax, and Melmax is where they keep. It's like a protective custody type thing. And he was in there not long, and he got handled. The best way I'm gonna put it is that he got handled, and he's gonna live. He is, but he might have learned his lesson from the Tennessee people anyway. Now, if only Bell County can step their game up and show him a lesson or two. I
I
think a
just
lot
want to
of people.
say, I mean, and this is my opinion. It is a sad day when inmates are getting Southern justice,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't feel like law enforcement is doing it.
And
Um,
I get it. I know law enforcement don't want to deal with the crap. I get it. But at the same time, there literally there was a text from the mother stating that that player did it. So to me, that's lock and seal. Throw away the key. That's right
a-
there evidence.
yeah, and um, if you the KSP, if anybody has any information that they need to report, mods will be dropping that link in the chat. Um, but let it be legit information. I mean,
Yes, don't let it be something that's just gonna be like silly, because it'll just waste their
we,
time.
yeah, I mean, hearsay is it's about useless to me. Stuff like, and I mean, I've turned stuff in on this case. I have because I'm not going to risk that it wasn't turned in. You know what I mean? Um, if it's legit stuff, turn it in. If it's a bunch of rumors, they don't need to be bogged down with all that.
Nope.
Um, because I'm telling you, Middlesboro is a small town. Uh, you blink, you're going to miss it.
That's putting
So
it
I'm,
nice.
yeah, that's putting it real nicely. Actually, the thing that has bothered me with this is so far from what I've saw, and everybody that's been arrested have been arrested on unrelated charges, but they had warrant for them. These
Yes.
names have been going around since this happened. Or I know I've saw them online and everything, and I have to ask myself, why in the world, if they had a warrant, why haven't they been arrested before now? I mean, they walked our streets for months.
Hell, I mean, heck, more like
One
running.
still is.
Yep. Yep. We thought he was getting ready to get arrested, and then it ended up not. It ended up being his neighbor or something. He ended up not getting arrested, unfortunately. But also that one player, not the one that we were just talking about, but the one that was in jail, he is no longer on Winchester Avenue. He moved. And he moved to an area that is very populated with kids. If anybody is
See,
familiar with Middlesbrough, Kentucky, and anybody knows where I'm going to use the initial PL. It's on Balmoral,
okay.
Balmoral Road. You get what I'm trying to say, Crystal?
Yeah, yeah. It's a congested area.
Yes. So the one that was injured at the jail, he lives in a very, very, very populated place where there's a lot of kids. So that's also very concerning. And I'll just be honest, I accidentally stumbled across his house. I was door dashing. We were just driving around waiting for an order, and we found it.
Oh,
uh,
goodness.
yeah. And you want to hear the worst part about it is there was a kid. You can ask my boyfriend. The kid was he was no older than 19. I want to say that. And he rolled up to that person's house, and no sooner did two people start walking towards the residence. So that's why nobody in Bell County is wanting to say anything, because he is, you know, keeping them up. I'll put it that way.
Okay, and another thing was posted on a kind of an independent news station, I guess you could call it around here, and that is that Elena's attorneys have Elena's, Lord forgive me for that. Erica's attorneys has asked for more time to prepare their case,
Yep.
to look at DNA, which I mean I can understand that if the DNA ain't back. And I do believe everybody deserves a fair trial. Uh,
Me personally, I
anything
think
you want to, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, but I'm finding it real doubtful that she said anything or about somebody and that person's still walking the street. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, one that's still walking the street, we are 100% positive he's a he talks, if that makes sense. I'm
yeah,
sorry I'm not making,
yeah.
I don't feel good and I
Oh, you're fine.
started my
You're
medicine,
fine.
so I just don't want people to
But
think I'm crazy. I'm trying to say as much as I can without someone being like, "Oh, well, this is why this happened to so and so because Whitney said it, in her group, or Crystal said it on, or
and
Whitney said it on Crystal's live." And that's not the
and
case.
please understand, you all, that around here that happens.
Yes.
It does. And I don't know how much of this Whitney has experienced. I've seen some of it. But the second you start covering this case and shedding light on it, people will attack you from all ends.
Oh, I have
Uh,
been. You can ask my boyfriend. Hey, Brandon. Brandon. Well, I don't know where he went. But I was getting harassed like for a month straight by several different people. I think Pam was there for that. Um. Oh, there he comes. Hey, Brandon. How many times would you say I got harassed by people over covering this case? Yeah, Brandon said a couple. So I mean, it's not easy, and it's very mentally draining. And I mean, I don't even have a child of my own, but it's just hard to cover it. And it doesn't
and
matter how good you cover it. Everyone's always gonna say something about it.
and I mean, I've talked to Duchess, Michelle, and Flies, uh, about this case, and they'll tell you sometimes you got to step back from it because it mentally is hard, you all. Um, like I've said before, there is a lot that could just be slapped on a YouTube channel, and you would have all kinds of people just flocking in to see it. But it's not for YouTube. It would not do her justice to do that. Um, but sometimes you got to see stuff to understand the severity of it. And this is probably the worst case that I know
Yeah.
of personally that I've ever saw. And what's sad is right around this area, just last week, a 4-year old was killed.
Yep.
What is going on? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand it at all. And I mean, it's kind of one of them cases. Um, I know a lot of people that watch my channel follow the Summer Wells case. Kind of like her, when you look at that picture and it hits so close to home, it tugs on your heartstrings. And you become real passionate about the case. And that's kind of how I feel about this case. I don't want it to be where people aren't talking about it. Um,
Mm-mm.
I mean, I firmly believe that if people went silent, the case would go cold.
And see, we have a TikTok account. We do. Like, well, oh, my TV, sorry. Like, we have a TikTok account for Elena. And every single time I post anything, like, I could have half of it marked out. Her, okay, her so called family, I'll put it that way, get on
Yeah.
there and they report it. So I can't keep anything up there long enough without getting it reported. I've had it reported 4 times, 3 or 4 times, and I know my next reporting it's going to completely erase um the page. That's the TikTok page, not our Facebook page, but the TikTok page. So I'm having to just be very, very careful on what I post and what I say on that one. And it just
Duchess
sucks.
Whitney said hello. She said it in the back chat, though.
Yeah, I was trying to say it
The
and then it
chat
went red.
can't
I
see
was
the
like,
back one.
damn.
uh,
But and I'm gonna address something real quick, Crystal. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, hon.
Everyone who thinks that TH is miserable and is hurting and is just completely depressed and sad inside the jail, it's a lie. He is being
And I
kept up.
and she's going to say TH, and I'm going to tell you it's Elena's dad, Trey Embry, and I'll tell you why, because he's put his name out there since day one,
Yep.
and there is a petition going around trying to get him out. That's why I'm saying his name. But
And that's what pisses me off more than anything.
and it's under a petition that was for Elena,
Hmm.
but
Yep. Yep.
then it was updated, and you go back into it, and it's all about getting him out of jail. Well, I'm sorry. You do the crime, you do the time.
He may not have touched her or done. I don't think he, did the assault. But
Well,
if
me
you're
either, not on
freaking,
that, but I think he knew about it.
yep.
He
If
knew
you
what
were,
environment she was in.
Mhm. For frick's sake, okay. I don't know if you know this or not. I'm just gonna go ahead and let it out there. Tia or Erica, Elena lived with both. Well, with the player that got hurt and then the street pharmacist. He lived with them. And TH was buddy buddy with the one that's still roaming free. So tell me, how would he have not been able to see his own daughter if she was living in that one particular person's house and he was going there day in and day out with his buddy? He would have saw his daughter. He would have saw
Yeah,
what kind of condition she was in. What kid sleeps 24 hours a day? That's an exaggeration. I'm sorry. What kid sleeps seven? I don't know. What
for two
child sleeps?
days at least. What kid sleeps for 2 days? I saw a
Not a
message
well one.
where she was like asleep for 48 hours.
Yep.
I mean, I've got small kids here. And before this live, I was like, they're wired. I don't even know that I'm going to be able to get them to lay down and take a nap to do the live. But I mean, they did. But
Yeah.
kids don't sleep all the time. And if they are, there is a problem.
There's something.
Um, Michelle has dropped a petition, you all. And while I'm thinking of it, if you all don't care, read that petition. If you agree with it, sign it. I'm going to explain a little bit about it. It is not to prevent biological parents that have kids in foster care from getting them back. I've had people think that that's what it is. It is not. It is if a parent loses their kids to foster care and they have a near fatality or fatality, not just a charge, being convicted of it on their record, they cannot get custody of those children back to potentially further abuse them. Now you would say, Crystal, that don't happen. Yes, it does. It happens too often. Too often parents get to take an online class. Sorry, y'all, my dog's needing in. But they get to take an online class and then end up getting their kids back. And I mean, this is cases that's been goes to court and they're found guilty. They do their time, they do a parenting class, and they get their kids back. How fair is that? It's
Not.
not.
Hottie cakes. Hottie cakes. That was said. Like that was rumor floating around. That has not been confirmed or not been. Okay, it's not been confirmed, but and then again, it's not been said it didn't happen. If that makes sense. There was also a rumor they had a Narcan, the baby, which again, that's not been confirmed either. Um, my biggest thing or my biggest assumption is you know how parents will give a kid melatonin.
Yes.
They could give her that or Benadryl to make her into a deep sleep. I wouldn't say drugs because I mean, if they gave it to her enough, she would have, you know, lost her life sooner. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, me personally, I think she was just given a lot of sleeping meds. I just don't. I mean, Erica, or yeah, they were shitty people, but I don't think they would drug their child. I don't think they would drug her. That's just me. I mean, I could be wrong, but I do not believe she was drugged.
But then you've also got this because I differ on that just a little bit. You take a parent that is on drugs and doing anything to the point that this happened to their kid, how much attention are they really paying to that kid to know what's happening to it, especially in a flop house?
What? Oh yeah, which reminds me, when I did my daily drive, we were doing DoorDash. I didn't see anybody
Mm,
at you know whose house. Didn't see a
hmm.
light on it, and that was after he moved. You know what house
Well,
I'm talking
that's
about?
interesting. Yeah.
Yep, not a single light was on
Yes,
there.
Michelle, it is. It is used way too much, and it is very dangerous. And what kills me is uh, they'll put on label children's melatonin. You you shouldn't be giving a small kid melatonin. I'm
No.
sorry, but you shouldn't. Um, get. Sorry, my dogs are
Oh,
get. But regardless, I mean, there's still one alleged suspect walking the street, and
I just
I've listened to that call. I don't know how many times. Me and Duchess both tried to edit it and it makes sense. It wouldn't because he
uh-uh.
uses racial slurs in it, what we consider racial slurs, in it quite a bit. The language is
Oh,
horrible, and if you try to beep it out, basically the only thing that you're going to hear from the call is beep 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 beep, beep
mhm.
bruh. That's it.
Yep.
Um, I mean, it's sad when you can't even edit a recording and make sense out of it afterwards. But
And he also has a daughter on the way. I don't know if you knew about that or
yes,
not,
yeah, I did, and
but supposedly he's not with the baby mama anymore. So I don't know. But still, it's the fact
it
that, huh?
wasn't did don't he wasn't he accused of doing this before, and the girl ended up dropping the charges.
Yes, two different times. As I know of, two different times, and then the one time it was dropped. I don't know about the other. Pam said he's dangerous. He is dangerous, Pam. Very. He's just
Yeah, Heidi, and I personally don't think there should be such a thing. I think that if a kid is having that much time, hard time sleeping, it should be between the doctor should be, you know, who you advise to deal with those situations, not over the counter stuff. I mean, it's dangerous. Um,
but
the next court dates, I knew there
I
was something.
I don't know
Uh,
court dates.
it's Okay, so they went today, and the attorney asked for more time, and they're supposed to go back. Pam, am I right? It's in January, but is it the 23rd?
Wait, let me see. I don't. If I can
Pam
look
would
it.
know. She dropped it in the group. I think it
Pam
was
knows.
her
I'm
that
telling
dropped
you,
it in the group.
Pam's on it like Donkey Kong half the time.
She is.
Let me see. Someone posted it in our thing. Never mind. No, they didn't. Oh, I'm in the wrong. I'm telling you,
Now,
it's
Whitney,
been
if
one of
you
them.
want to send that link, the new link to some admins, feel free to go ahead
The,
and send that to them. The 29th. I wasn't for sure if it's the 29th or the 23rd, but January the 29th is the next court date
I
for
messaged them.
Erica.
Oh, for Erica.
Yeah. Seems like there's. mm, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Ugh.
Well, I'm gonna. I know you already addressed it, but I'm gonna say this one more time. So it really irritated me earlier. I'm not gonna lie. When that certain somebody said that all we did is sit on our hind ends. First of all, I mean, I know Crystal's already addressed it, but I'm still pretty pissed off about it. Sorry
You
for the
go
language.
ahead at your group, and it was said in your group. Go ahead.
So we have not had time to do anything. And by we, I mean it's the admins. I mean, it's I was working at Zaxby's. Okay. I have switched jobs. So I'm still trying to get my schedule, planned out so that we can plan something before it gets too cold or before January or something like that. Um, but a certain somebody said that we need to do more and that we sit on our hind ends and that we should be going to the government's office. First and foremost, what good is it going to do to go to the government's office? Can somebody tell me, please?
Mm.
What good is it going to be for me to stand there and be like, hey, this case? They will look at me like I'm stupid, and then I'll probably end up in federal jail, federal prison. I'll put it that way, federal prison. Sorry, but I don't rock orange. I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. I don't need to wear orange. Second of all, we do small things online like rock painting. There we go, rock painting. We've done ribbons. Pam Pam Green has actually sent ribbons. I still have those in my drawer. There was a lady, Denise. She had some picket things that we can use for a walk. Yes, I have these things. We are trying our best. People work, people have jobs, people have kids. We cannot drop everything we are doing. I know it's frustrating to you all, just as it is to us, because we want to help as much as we can. We don't want you all to be like, well, they got us in this group. That's all they wanted. No, we want you all to participate in as much as you can. And most people aren't from this area, and that's fine. That's why we do things online. So people from out of state, out of town, heck, even out of the country, because there's people that, join and they participate. So for someone to sit there on a comment and tell us that we don't do anything, that's a slap in the face. It's a big O, y'all are dumb, pop in the face. And I do not take kindly to it. So I had to step out of the conversation because I was about to blow up, and it wasn't
And I
about
mean,
you.
I completely understand that. I mean, um, I'm going to throw this out there. Since summer's been missing, I've put an ornament on the tree for summer.
Yeah,
Everybody, this year I'll do one for Elena. Uh, if y'all want to join that, send me a picture. I'll post it on my community wall. I'm sure Whitney would post it in the group. That's something with
yeah,
it being Christmases that people could do. Uh, getting, I mean, I'd love to have a vigil every month, but the fact is that's kind of hard to do.
it is. And then
Uh,
you'll have people that say, "Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll come. I'll be there." You do you do it. And then, two people show up, which two is better than none. I'm not saying, oh, it's only two people. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if we take our time out of what we're supposed to be doing and we plan an event that everybody's been wanting to do and no one shows up, again, slap in the face. And I get it. I'm not saying it like if someone has an emergency or something planned, fine. I understand that stuff happens. Like, for example, my mom, she's in the hospital. She went in for colonoscopy. I was supposed to do a live the other night. I was unable to due to a family emergency. And again, that was my fault, you know. But I'm not going to fault somebody if they can't make it or a family emergency or something happens. That's not what we are for. That's not what we want to do. We want as many people as possible to join and to do and participate. That's all, we want Elena to know that she's not going to be forgotten. And it's honestly sad that a bunch of us strangers want justice for this baby more than her own freaking blood.
I completely agree. Um, I mean, it bothered me because I know how I feel. I feel like I'm doing everything that I can do.
Yeah, you are.
Um, and I don't know about you, but I hadn't really seen that name much. I
She's
hadn't.
in and out.
But my question is don't ask me what I'm doing. Ask yourself, what are you doing?
Yep.
Because I know what I'm doing.
And that person hasn't commented back in that chat. And it's probably for my blood pressure that it does not. Because I'm telling you right now, I do not feel good and I do not feel like going toe to toe with somebody. At this point, I would just lay there like a dead dog and be like, okay, do what you gotta do. It's
I
just, it's
mean, well, it does. It gets irritating. The thing that we got to remember is though is this is for Elena.
Yep.
Um, Not a whole lot of updates today. But my thing is this: sometimes when I go live, I may not have an update, you all, but I don't want people to forget about her. I don't want them to forget about this case. Um, and we've got to keep being her voice. The title of this live is Be Elena's Voice. We can all do that. Even if it's posting on your social media about the case, reminding people it's still going on. You don't have to have a YouTube channel, you don't have to have a Facebook group to do something for this kid. Uh, but us keep her name out there. I begged people to be covering this case, cover it. Uh, because if we're not her voice, so far what I've seen, with the exception of Carol, nobody else is being her voice. Her family isn't. Yeah, I
No.
said that. Her family isn't. They want to go online and put people down, but what are they doing other than taking GoFundMe's and going to Florida?
And letting their 21-year-old son, nephew, whatever, date a 15-year-old. Oh,
Yeah,
I need to stop.
that's sick. That is sick. I mean, this is America, and I've got a freedom of speech.
Yep.
Uh, I've got my opinion. It don't have to be everybody's opinion, and I don't have to have an echo chamber in my chat. But I'm just going to put this out here. It bothers me that some people are putting this man on a pedestal, and I signed a petition, and then just a couple days later, that petition is completely rearranged, and it's nothing about her no more. It's all to get him out.
Mm-hmm.
That is shady. Um, and it took away from her case. When you can't even
It's
trust signing a petition, it it took away from her case. In my opinion, it did. Um, it would have been a great thing. The petition stood for Elena to start with. Now it's all about getting him out of jail. because he's there against his will. Well, you know what? I don't know many inmates that would say they were there of free will.
No, but I can
Otis
tell you right now,
Campbell, on I think that was his name, on Andy Griffin, is the only inmate I know that ever went and checked himself in.
it just pisses me off. Every bit of that family just makes me so damn mad.
And I want to say, when this first happened, his excuse was he couldn't. He wasn't able to see Elena, and I've seen the comments. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen the comments that were they saying, "Well, you can't just take a kid from its parent,"
Because you,
talking about him. Well, he's its parent
oh,
too, and this is Kentucky. And let me tell you something: if you have your kid, you can keep that kid until
mhm.
you go to court to get visitation set up. You don't have to even let the other parent have the kid. Whoever's got it can keep it. He could have went
Well,
up there and took that kid.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
that's my opinion. I'll tell you why I think he didn't do anything. I'll tell you why I don't think he reported anything. Because he was walking around with a warrant and he cared more about not going to jail than he did his own kid.
And he cared more about drugs.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the truth of it. He was so fixated with drugs and to care about his own daughter. And I mean, I'm just trying to be nice. That way I don't flag your YouTube. But
Amen,
no,
Pamela. Honey, I ain't monetized.
I just, he cared more about his next fix, cared more about blackmailing Erica for sexual favors, for Elena. And that's when he was, well, that's when he lived with, when they lived with Carol. So yeah, he's a piece of shit. Like I don't care what anyone says. The other page is all for, oh, Trey is such a saint. He is perfect. No, he is not. He may not have done things to her, but by God, he failed her as a parent, and that's that.
Yes. Yes. And like, let me make this abundantly understood. Not one time have I ever said I think that he did something to Elena. But I believe that in my whole heart that he is the person that had more of a right to be an intervention, and he failed her. He didn't do that. You can't say you didn't know something was happening when you was receiving text messages saying that it was happening.
No, he. And then they were seen the night before she was taken to the hospital. I don't know if you heard about that,
Do
but
what?
they
They
were
were
seen.
seen together?
Yeah, the night before Elena was taken to the hospital, him and Erica were seen at that BP that's right across from the hospital. Yep.
Well, I know I hadn't heard about that, but now that brings it to a whole new level. Why ain't he in jail for the same charges she is? I'm
Be-
sorry. But why is he in there on an old warrant? Because if he seed Erica the night before, from every understanding that I've got about this case, then he should have known his kid was in bad shape.
he
She didn't
did.
get like that overnight.
Mm-mm. Nope. And like Michelle said, he didn't cry in his damn mugshot. If anything, I thought Smith. Oh my God, I can't even speak. I think he grinned. He done that stupid smirk, the same one that Elena, or same one that Erica did, and it's the same fucking smirk. I'm sorry, same freaking smirk he had while he was holding his deceased, unalived daughter in his hand in the hospital, or in his arms in the hospital.
Yes.
He was smirking in that picture.
Yes, he
You
was.
all can tell me, oh, people grieve differently. I can tell you right now, I had a miscarriage. Would you see me holding my deceased child in my hand smiling? No, you wouldn't. You know why? Because I'd be tore up from the floor up. I would be. That's the last damn thing I'd be worried about is a fucking picture of my dead kid and me smiling, and that's that.
Well, now I'm going to tell you, I've buried two kids. And I didn't even want a camera in my face, not even the news. I didn't want the news in my face, let alone be. No, that's not a Kodak moment, mister.
No,
And whoever took the picture, you're as bad as he is.
we all know who took that damn picture. Let's be honest here. And I had heard, and I mean, there was, I don't know if you probably saw it too. He wasn't even at the fucking freaking hospital at one point. He was downtown at the McDonald's buying all of his little buddies McDonald's.
This case is just, oh, it turns my stomach. I will say this. It gave me some peace to hear Carol talk about who Elena was.
Yes, and I wish more
It did,
people.
because I was thinking, who showed this child love? Because I didn't know there was a Carol. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that helped me. It helped me a lot, actually. Um, but I saw on Marketplace the grandpa was selling her toys.
yeah.
Let
See,
me
that's
tell
what.
you something. I have got very few, because my kids passed away in a house fire, but I have got very few things left that they played with. But there ain't no money on the face of the earth that could buy those things.
No,
There ain't
no,
nobody rich enough to buy my baby's toys.
no. And I'm telling you, they'd have to pry it out of my dead cold hands. Oh, they would have to. Nope. So I lost my father. Okay, I lost my father. But do you see me pawning his Kentucky stuff? I mean, I lost him 5 years ago, but you don't see me pawning his stuff. I kept my father's clothes, even when I moved. I'm not even a Kentucky fan. Pamela can tell you that I'm a diehard Tennessee fan, diehard to the day I die. But my dad was a Kentucky fan, so you know what? I kept my dad's Kentucky stuff. There is no, there is no logical reason as to why the grandfather should have been at the fucking freaking flea market, pawning the baby stuff, and on Marketplace. Yes, he went to the flea market in Tennessee and was selling baby toys.
See, I don't understand that. A lot of families fight over that stuff. They do. And like I said, I've got very few, very few toys left of my boys, but there ain't love nor money that could get them from me.
Mm-mm. Nope.
I mean,
Because no.
because to me, that that Tonka truck, well, it might as well be as a real truck. It holds more value to me than my vehicle out there does. So I didn't understand that. Um, I don't understand making TikToks looking like you're blown away.
That's all they know what to do. That's all they know what to do. All they know is to stay. Oh man, you're getting my mouth shut. Is to stay high. That's all they want to do is stay messed up out of their mind. They don't care. They do not care. They just don't.
And have we heard anything about the other person? That the one that isn't in jail that should probably been the first one to go? I mean, because I'm going to say, I'm going to, like
Are we talking about?
me and Dutch just talked about this case here a little while back. Uh, the dad put out that he saw a shirt that had blood on it
Mm-hmm.
and footprints the size of his daughter's, and found boxers with blood in them.
Yep. And then he said it was you know whose.
Yeah. And
I,
then you've got that phone call that don't look good at all. To me, the only thing he's doing is trying to get Trey to say, no, man, you shouldn't be a suspect. I mean, he wasn't caring about what happened to Elena in that phone call. It was all about him.
I know. He doesn't care. He didn't. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't love her because I mean he probably did love her, but he didn't care. He didn't care what she was going through, and I think a lot of that's explained because of Erica. He,
Well,
did Erica, so he took it out on his kid.
call me ignorant, but you let me have a slight, just a slight notion that somebody did that to my kid. I'm not sitting on the phone with them.
Mm-mm.
And the cops would be a good thing to show up at their house compared to what it'd be if I did. They
Oh
sure ain't gonna be ballsy enough to call me bruh. I'm
no, they
not you bruh. I'm your worst enemy if I think you've hurt my kid. I mean,
no.
that's how I feel about it.
And my
I wouldn't even
boyfriend.
have a conversation with somebody that I thought there was 2% possibility that they laid a hand on my kid. Nope. Matter of fact, if somebody laid a hand on my kid and I thought that they did, they'd be turning their self in because they don't want no Crystal coming after them.
No,
Because
they
my
would.
kids are my life.
Yep, I would. I mean, honestly, if I saw, no, I'm not saying that because I'll get in trouble for incriminating. Not doing that. Nope, 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 nope. Keeping my shut. I'll just text that to you later. That way, no one else can hear it.
I mean,
If you
but really,
understand.
common sense. If you think somebody had something to do with your kid, you ain't having no buddy conversation with them.
No.
I'll be honest with you. In 1987, most of the people know this. My uncle was murdered.
Oh,
And when I say that I had to leave the Walmart because I was in the same Walmart with the person that I suspected did it, and that was my uncle. I had to leave the Walmart. My sister pretty much dragging me out.
oh my God.
I mean, you ain't going to sit and have a big conversation with somebody you think harmed your baby. Not if you
No.
gave a crap about her.
Nope. And now he's living it up in good old Bell County Detention Center in protective custody. He's living better in jail than he was on the streets.
It's got him a little sugar mama, huh?
But Crystal, I hate to get off here, but I do not feel good. I'm gonna get off here and take some headache medicine. Um, I appreciate you having me on here. I'm gonna try to figure out. I might go live tomorrow on our Facebook page, and if you want to jump up in the box on the page, you are welcome to. Um,
Well, I appreciate you and I appreciate everything you've done. Don't let these people that say we're just sitting on our hind ends doing nothing get to you. Uh,
I'm trying.
we see what
Jesus,
we
I'm
see
just.
what's going on, and you all, if you all haven't checked out the Facebook page, mods, if you don't care, drop it in the chat. Um, there's a few questions. Do answer those questions. That way they can sort out who is really there for Elena and who is there to spy. Because trust me, it happens.
It does.
Uh,
Like Pam has had to go through. Like Pamela, she's great on it. She catches these people in a heartbeat, and I'm like, yes, Pam, go Pam. Thank you guys. I hope I feel better too. um, but no, it's hard. And then someone saying that just already have not felt good. And that person saying what they did when they've not contributed anything at all. Let me add that. Just really set the ticker on it. But I'm fine. It'll be
I
fun.
completely understand. I completely understand. I
Thank
mean,
you,
it's
God.
not even my group, and I'm not an admin in it, and it ticked me off.
And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, if you're gonna say that, go to the other Justice for Atlanta say it, not ours. We're Go to the go to the trades group. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and that's what it is because it's not for
It is.
Elena.
Thank you, Diane. But yeah, it's just I don't feel good where I ran out of my medicine, and I just now got it back today. So I've been without it for 4 days, 3 or 4 days, and it's just kicking my tail, getting it back in my system.
I love you, Dragon.
I
And
love
I
you
will
too.
say this before you get off. Before you get
Okay.
off here, the last live that you and me and Elizabeth did.
Hmm.
Well, it was the first live that we done. Right at the beginning of the chat, somebody came in and said, "Can I come up? This is," and said that name. Did you know
Yes.
those? Did you know that handle? Do you know them? Did you know that person?
No, I did not. I thought it was the legit one. Even my boyfriend was like, "Oh my god, is that person?" And then they were like, "Oh no, I'm not that person." But I didn't see them comment anymore.
But why would you say that you are that person? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm gonna put this out there, and if I'm wrong, the person is more than welcome to come on panel and correct me. I think it was that person.
I do too.
I do. I think it was that person. I mean, it was immediate, and they disappeared after I dropped the link for them to come on panel.
It was that or a
And I
relative.
don't know nobody by that name. And if you and Elizabeth didn't, then why state your real name?
The only person that I know that has that same name is a barber, and I don't even. That person cuts my boyfriend's hair. I don't even have that person on my Facebook. So I know it wasn't that bird. I know it wasn't the one. You know what I'm trying to say? It was the one that we think it
Yeah,
was. I'll put it that way.
yeah. I think it was that person that was in chat because them saying this is and then saying that name, like one of us should know exactly who is in the chat. I didn't. I didn't know if they were from the Facebook group or not.
I didn't
But
either.
and I'm sure you was thinking the same thing, thinking, well, maybe uh, they're somebody that comes in and watches her channel. But no, I didn't know who they was, and I from everything that I've looked at because I have went back and looked at that particular name. It has no videos. Uh, the YouTube channel was made like back in or the yeah the YouTube channel was made in August. I think it was them.
Yeah. It, I'm a firm believer it was too. And it's either him or a relative or a friend, like Pam said. But I think it was him or a relative, a very close relative. I'll put it
Now,
that way.
now I have had the one that's still on the streets family threaten to sue me.
Oh, yeah.
Sue me, honey.
The
Go
mom,
ahead. I've not slandered nobody. But
she went on to
trust
my
me, when
first.
you come at me, you better come good because I'll come back at you.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, like, I have like 5 people in my family that would be, would be glad to be like, hey, I'll handle this. I'm not
Yeah,
one to
go
play with
ahead
either.
because I want. Go ahead and do it because I want to see the discovery process on that one.
Yeah, and the
Don't play
first,
with me. I don't play games. I'm a
so
grown woman.
I'm gonna send this in the chat. Only you can see it, right?
In the back chat, yeah.
Yeah.
In the one that says private chat.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send this to you real quick before I get off.
Okay. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that.
I didn't know if that would be mentioned or not. I mean, I know it's not
No.
relevant.
Yeah, I know that. It's sick,
Like
but
like who, but it's just it's just funny. Ugh.
Michelle says, "Come at these ladies, you'll have to deal with us all." And we're a
Oh,
pretty big army, ain't we, Michelle?
there's a bunch
Don't.
of us. I mean, they have to go through. Okay, first of all, I'm crazy. Like, I'm. certifiable crazy, and that's my boyfriend. But people I care about, it's even worse. So that's not good to play with. So if they come after me or if they come after you all, it wouldn't be good on their end. I'll put it that way.
Well, straight up, I won't play. Come at me, I'll get me a couple lawyers, and I'll come right back at you. And you better hope you can stand, because I don't do this channel for money. I don't
Mm-mm.
ask one dime. It is a hobby of mine. I don't need it. Come at me.
These people are lucky I don't do street justice. That's all I'm. They are lucky I don't do street justice, or I would already been in jail. I would have been in jail the moment I found out what all happened.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised the good old boys ain't doing it.
Be they that the two. I
Michelle.
can't have an excavator just say, listen, go ahead and dig up like 5 graves or 5 holes. Dig up 5 holes.
Pretty flowers. We
Yeah,
are
but
kidding. But
not
no, I mean,
really. But
threaten me with suing me, and you better hope you better hope you've got a real
mm,
good pastime, because that's where you'll go. Because I'll come at you, because I won't sit back and just let somebody threaten me. And
no.
if let me just put this out there. If you think that will shut me up, it will make me louder.
If what?
And if they think it will shut me up, they're wrong. It will make me louder.
That's me. I hate when people are like, oh, well, this is going to make you be quiet. No, it's just going to make it worse.
And I'll say this too, I'm close enough to be real loud.
Oof. Oof.
Don't give me time to have time on my hands.
Oh, God. Maybe you need to let me know what's going on because I think I'm out of the loop on that one.
But I
But
mean, I
I
appreciate you for coming up.
well, I appreciate you all for having me on here. If you still want to get that arranged with that, just let me know. Like I said, Boots, she wasn't feeling well either. She had a situation yesterday to where she's not feeling good today, and so she wasn't able to join. I think the rest of my admins they were putting their babies to sleep, so we're all just busy place.
I understand completely. Trust me, I thought why I was going to be late tonight was because I was going to have to get babies to sleep first, but they laid down. It's
Surprisingly, they
getting
laid
better,
down.
you all. It's getting better.
Yay! But it was good talking to you all, and it was good talking to you, Crystal, and it was good talking to your mods and your admins, and I'll be back on here whenever you have another live.
Well, thank you, honey, and you take care of yourself.
I will try to. I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you
Bye.
later. Okay, so yeah, uh, things that has happened is one of the supposed suspects was arrested on um, child support and a felony warrant. He was put in Bell County, transferred to Claiborne County, got the snot beat out of him, went to the hospital, and Elena's attorney, not Elena's, gosh, Lord help me, forgive me, Erica, her attorneys have asked for more time to prepare their case. I personally hope that Erica squeals. Girl, squeal. I mean, you wasn't there for your kid when this happened, but you can at least come forward and tell what happened. That's that's my personal feelings on it. Um, this case is horrible, and when I say it's the worst one that I have ever heard of, it is. Um, I've seen a lot of cases of kids being harmed, but not to this extent. And the family, from what I saw, are not being her voice. They're worried more about getting Trey out of jail than they are about getting justice for Elena. And if that is not the case, that's the way it looks. Because when you can only make a TikTok because you want to come at people over Trey, that says volumes to me. Um, and yes, one of the grandparents was selling toys on Marketplace. I seen it with my own eyes. Um, you want to talk about stuff that isn't normal behavior? That is not normal behavior. Like I said a minute ago, my kids, not just my kids that I've lost, but every family member that I've ever lost, if I have something that they gave me or that was theirs, I cherish that. It's more than money to me. I mean, there ain't nothing that could buy it. So I don't understand the whole selling the toys and stuff. I would be holding on to that like it was a gold mine, to be honest with you. Um, and we may not, until this goes to trial, we may not know what happened when what happened to Elena happened. But in this case, it's been in, well, one circumstance, there was a son saying his dad was a part of it. You have the Elena's dad coming out and just plastering all over social media messages that he's had, conversations he's had with people. He's went into these chats and said a lot of things. Was I threatened of being sued? Yes, I was. But my question is, you're going to threaten somebody that does a live stream talking about what had happened to Elena, but the dad has put far worse out than I ever have. You ain't threatening him? You ain't threatening him with a lawsuit? Miss me with that. That dog don't hunt. I can't fathom that no one loved her. She was a precious little girl. Well, Heidi, actually, there is a lady that took care of Elena, and you can hear the pain in her voice, but she was no blood relation to Elena. And when she had got Elena a couple weeks before all this happened, and just to spend the day with her or what have you, and they threatened calling the law and getting her for kidnapping and everything, and she didn't bring Elena home. Then they wouldn't let her see her again. Was keeping her from them. She reported stuff that was she suspected was happening to Elena. Um, exactly, exactly. But her name was Carol, and if you would have heard her talking about Elena, Elena was loved. I know she was loved by Carol. Uh, I'm not seeing nobody else go out and tell who Elena was while she was with us on this earth, what she liked to eat. I'm not hearing it because there's probably a lot of people don't even know it, but Carol did. And it really helped me a lot to hear her talk about Elena because up until I did, like I said earlier, I was wondering who loved this baby, who showed her love. Yeah, it does. It does, Heidi. I don't understand it at all. Um, I mean, Like Michelle, I talk to her about, we talk every day. Um, Duchess, we talk about every day. And they'll tell you, sometimes I just got to step back from this case because it keeps me up at night. Uh, it's the worst nightmare that anybody could think of. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know why more YouTubers are not covering this baby's case, because everything that people want to throw theories about in the Summer Wells case, it happened to her. Not it could have happened. It happened. The case is a lot worse than anything that I can tell you. And she told Trey after the 4th of July that Elena was being abused and he needed to go get her. Unfortunately, he didn't go. That's true too. Yes, Duchess, it is. It is very heartbreaking. Michelle has put the petition in the chat. This petition means a lot to me, you all. Uh, and like I said, it's not to keep people from getting their kids back that just have kids in foster care for whatever reason it may be. Believe it or not, every kid that goes into foster care hasn't been abused. Some of them, there's kids in foster care for truancy. But this is if there is a near fatality or fatality conviction on their record, they can't get their kids back. And I believe if somebody, say, has shook a kid or abused a kid to that physically, or let SA happen to their child, I don't think they ever should get their kid back. How do you rehabilitate people like that? We love you, Dragon. Yes, it is. It is. It's absolutely horrific. Um, I want to thank everybody for joining the live tonight. You all, you're awesome. If you can think about the things were done to Elena, they'll keep you up. Yes, yes, they will. And people, when I say I have to step back from it sometimes, I have to step back from it because, and keep in mind, I'm a foster mom. I have been in the courtroom with a lot of abuse cases. I've not seen anything like this. Haven't seen anything like this. To think that you have people that are so evil in this world that they would do this to a not even 17-month-old child, not even 2 years old, not even at the age where she understands what's going on around her as far as love and pain. This kid went through that. And it wasn't a one time thing. I'm sure Pamela would agree with me. It wasn't a one time thing. If you see the details on this case, you would know it ain't. It's absolutely horrific what this baby went through. And to me, it is such an injustice that only one person has been arrested in this case. Now there is others that are in jail, but they are in jail on unrelated charges. Which means they have a chance of getting out before this ever goes to court. And what do you think will happen then? Let me remind you that Middlesboro, Kentucky borders Tennessee and Virginia. From where this happened, in 10 minutes, you can be in another state. There's one spot you stand in, you're in all three states at once. They get out, what are they going to do? They're going to run. Yeah, not just one. They have tested the DNA of 6 men. One article that I read said they had tested the DNA of 6 men. Let that sink in. Not just one evil monster in this world. Yes, it's been almost 4 months. Almost 4 months, and the mom is the only one that's been arrested. And I don't even want to call her a mom because it takes more than just giving birth to make you a mother. Yeah, 6 demons. I've watched horror movies that don't match this case. I mean, and yeah, I know they were all into their drugs and stuff like that, but you've got to have evil in you to do something like that. I personally don't think it was just drugs. Pure evil. When I think of 6 men being DNA tested, I think, how many people were in that house? How many cowards do we got walking around that won't speak up? Because it's pretty bad when something like that happens to a kid and they have to test 6 men for DNA, but yet you want to put your little patty cake fights out. Let them get around. My chickens out here fight more better than that. I wouldn't advertise that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think Erica needs buried under that jailhouse. Uh, I don't understand how a mom don't protect her kid. I don't understand that. I'd lay down and die for mine. Exactly. And I'd say it wasn't. The extent of this case, no, that's not somebody experimenting with it. That's pure evil. Pure evil. Lucifer himself is what that is. Yeah, it is a horrible thought. And you know what's even worse is that they get away with this, they'll do it again. And next time it could be in your neighborhood. Now, Eric is in jail on $1 million bond, and that's good because ain't nobody getting her out. Nobody around here has that kind of money. She's sitting there. But let's be real here. When it come down to the actual act, that wasn't her. She didn't leave that DNA. It's horrible, Heidi. It is. It's horrible. And you've got cowards that won't come forward. Unlike most cases, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Unlike most cases, you haven't got people coming out saying, I know what happened. You haven't got witnesses that are coming forward. This case hinges solely on DNA. So I understand them needing to get the DNA right. I understand that. But from everything that I understand on this case, there was people in and out of that house all the time. You mean to tell me these people didn't see this kid? Didn't see what was happening to her? Didn't see that something was wrong? Everybody that diapered her should have saw something was wrong and didn't come forward and report it. And for the mom to be made to take her kid to the hospital and then not even go to Tennessee with it. It's sick. It is sick. You all, I appreciate you being here. Get her name out there. I'll ask you. You're decorating your tree. Put an ornament on there for her. It don't always have to be mass crowds of people gathered in a circle with candles that says I remember you or says I want justice. Do it. Send it to me. I'll post it. I promise I will. But you all, I guess I'm going to get off here, but remember, it takes zero effort to be a good human being. I love y'all. Like I said, if you don't care, keep her name out there.